Welcome to the Fantasy Football Fools podcast. My name's Jesse. This is Eliseo and Brandon. How's it going, guys?
Ahoy, hoy. Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. We're back again for some preseason fun here. We're going to do a mock draft for you guys live here on the air. It's going to be 10-team half PPR mock draft. You guys excited?
Super excited. There's two things I love. One is draft season. The second is football season.
Yes, exactly.
I love it, and then as soon as it starts, I go right back to hating it.
Well, I mean, you have the most losses, so that makes sense.
I don't think I do.
All right. Well, let's get into it. We're doing the draft today on the Sleeper app. So if you guys want to mock draft with friends, you can use that app. Make sure everyone's signed up, and you're good to go.
Shout out to Sleeper. If you guys want to sponsor us, we're available.
Yes, we are. We randomly picked our positions, and Eliseo got pick number one,
baby.
I got pick number 5, and Brandon pick 9. So you're going to get a little bit of everything here, beginning, middle, and end. We're going to talk about who we're picking, why we're picking them in a 10-team half PPR league. And we'll talk about some of the other picks that the computer makes for us as well. So let's get started, Eliseo. Who's first pick for you? This is going to be a tough one. I know. Everyone out there is wondering.
Listen. It's if you know what, if the scoring was different, I could argue to go in another direction, but it's not. It's half PPR, and that matters. So of course, the number one consensus overall, that's what I got to do. So Jonathan Taylor is going to be the number one for me.
JT.
So we'll go ahead and just do that right off the bat. But also, like if it was standard scoring, I wouldn't have a problem with Derrick Henry going number one. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Derrick Henry, it could be great. Jonathan Taylor is going to be great for sure. That's...
Yeah, Derrick Henry definitely a stud last year before he got hurt. Kind of agree with you there, but yeah, kind of worried in a PPR league about his pass catching and the volume that he's going to do. Catching passes, kind of earning those extra points in a half or full PPR league.
But if anybody wants to go with McCaffrey, I mean, that you can't really blame him for that either. Yeah, I mean, it's all up to your choice, like your preference, because some people are like not trusting McCaffrey because he's been hurt a lot in the last couple of years, and so that's why he dropped. But if he's healthy all season, he could still be the number one. You know, if they're both healthy all season, that's a toss-up because they're both really good.
Yeah, those top 4 running backs, I think anything can happen. So you picked Jonathan Taylor. We got Christian McCaffrey number 2, Austin Eckler number 3, and Derrick Henry number 4. I am on the clock here at pick number 5. So pick number 5 here could go a couple different ways for me. And, gosh, this is tough because, Dalvin Cook's on the board, who could be really great. Cooper Kupp's still there, so I could get my first receiver right now. And you have Najee Harris, also Joe Mixon in the mix. But I think right now, I know there's injury concern, but I'm going to have to go with Dalvin Cook as my pick because I need that good running back in one of those first rounds. Then off the board was Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Joe Mixon, and Brandon is on the clock.
Yeah, on the clock here at pick 9, just before the turn. Guys kind of in the queue, Najee Harris, Jamar Chase. Chase being the last of those 3 kind of great receivers. With Kupp and Jefferson off the board. Devontae Adams is there also. Kelsey, which is kind of an interesting too, especially in a PPR, just to get that extra value at tight end. Just with what's on the board, I'm looking at 9. I'm probably going to take Najee Harris, knowing that I'll get one of those pass catchers on the way back with Chase, Adams, and Kelsey. I like Swift too, so I know I'm going to get one of those guys. I just want to make sure I lock in that running back here, especially a guy like Najee Harris who caught a ton of passes last season. So I'm going to go ahead and take Najee Harris and kind of see what the guy at 10 does.
And we got Travis Kelce off the board at number 10, and then Jamar Chase was the third wide receiver off the board. Back to Brandon.
Yeah, so back to me here again. I kind of, still left some pass catchers on the board. So now I'm really here debating between Probably two guys. Devontae Adams, and I actually really like DeAndre Swift, especially in this half point PPR league that we're doing here. He caught 62 passes a year ago, and I think he missed probably 4 or 5 games. So you extrapolate that over a season, he's looking at 75 catches or so, which is such a huge bonus. Again, I could go either way with him or Devontae Adams. I think I'm actually going to go with Swift. I like the idea of having those two running backs kind of locked and loaded. Receiver that, like we know, is very deep. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in DeAndre Swift with my second pick.
And after that, we got Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, and Nick Chubb off the board.
I like your move, Brandon, though. Like I agree with you at the end there. It's like you might as well lock in those two running backs because I think there's way more options at receiver further down the line than you do running backs. That running back drop-off is really significant after the first few.
Yeah, and just to touch on that too, the two running backs I got last year, Najee Harris, 74 catches, Swift with 62. I mean, that's 134 catches. That's just a ton out of the running back position.
Yeah, and this is half PPR. That's what you want. So I'm looking at CeeDee Lamb right here, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones. I'm going to do the same thing. I like the wide receivers later in the draft as well, so I'm going to go with Kamara because he's going to get a lot of catches as well. He's the guy over there. I mean, who else do they have? They have a couple good receivers, but he's going to be the one. So I took Kamara.
Have we heard anything about a suspension for Kamara?
No.
Is that not happening?
No, we have not. And that's baked into there if you're going to take him. It's likely that it will be in next year, but I'm willing to risk that for what he can be.
Even if he does get suspended, I think you're looking at only a few games, maybe 2, 3, 4 games max. So it might be in the middle of the season, which is certainly can be concerning. But yeah, I think the risk outweighs the reward, and everything we're hearing is 2023 suspension. So I think that's good value in the second round.
Saquon went off the board. After that, Aaron Jones to team 3, and team 2 took Josh Allen.
That's early, isn't it? Doesn't that seem early?
Hey, everybody loves Josh Allen. He's going quick.
But wow, and a round 2. That seems like really early. That's the first time I've seen that actually. So that surprises me.
So that means that one of your picks is still there, and you're on the clock.
I am on the clock. All right, so that. So you have a couple of receivers up here, and maybe Kelsey's off. But if I wanted to go tight end, Mark Andrews, I could do that. He's in for some big volume this year again. Probably going to be number 1 overall again. I think he's got Kelsey. Although Kelsey's always been the number 1 in KC, but now with some receivers gone, he's probably going to get an even bigger portion. But I still think that Mark Andrews is going to be number 1 overall tight end this year. But I'm not going to go that option. My receivers that I have that I'm looking at here is the options are CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, and that's an easy choice for me. It's like I can get a running back / receiver all in one. So my pick is Deebo Samuel as the last pick of the second round.
Over 300 fantasy points last year.
And he's going to do the same thing. I mean, with Trey Lance, I'm still not sure exactly what to expect out of him. I don't know how much. So I think they're going to be using Deebo exactly the same way that they were last year. So.
I love that in his contract, he actually changed it so that he gets more money being used as a running back. So it looks like they are going to use him like that.
Definitely some running back incentives in there. But yeah, I'm kind of with you on Trey Lance. I think there's going to be some highly rewarding weeks. There's going to be some disappointing weeks. But he's going to make a lot of plays with his legs. He's going to extend some plays. Here's the thing. They had Jimmy Garoppolo the last couple of years and got the NFC title game. So they're going to get coached up by Kyle Shanahan. He's going to get the most out of what you have. And he handpicked Trey Lance. They went up and traded to the number 3 spot in the draft. They got him to do the things that he wants them to do. So there might be some growing pains, but he is definitely somebody that they wanted. And they just re-signed Deebo to a big contract. So I think you're going to see another big year from Deebo.
Yeah, I agree. So now we're starting off round number 3, and obviously I still have the same options. CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Mark Andrews, and then I got a couple of running backs, Javonte Williams, Leonard Fournette. And if I want to go even further down the line, is Mike Evans is next. Well, this is a little bit tougher. I still don't want a tight end. This is still too early for me for a tight end. I know Mark Andrews is elite, but I think I like these receivers so much in this area that I don't want to pass them up. So I'm actually going to skip CeeDee Lamb, surprisingly, probably for a lot of people, and I'm going to go down and grab Mr. Mike Evans.
Interesting. So a couple of things there. I like CD. I think I would have taken CD Lamb there, or I really think I could be talked into taking Mark Andrews. The one thing is, you have Jonathan. I like that you didn't take a running back. You have Jonathan Taylor. You have an advantage there every single week. You can kind of wait on that second running back, but part of me just likes taking Mark Andrews in that spot. Now you have an elite running back, an elite receiver, an elite tight end. You kind of build your team from there. So I do like staying away from a running back, but I think I would have gone either Andrews or CD Lamb there.
The only thing about CD Lamb, I mean, he's good. He was good last year, but this year he's expected to be the number one. So he's going to get a lot of coverages that he didn't get last year. A lot more pressure on him, and he's still like, what is this, year 2 for him? So it's going to be a lot of pressure on him. Like
year 2 is usually a breakout year for wide receivers.
Well, yeah, but like now he has the added pressure of like, hey, you're the number one. Everything's coming to you. He's going to see double coverage. He's going to be like see the best cornerbacks. He's going to get all that extra attention. So I don't know if he's going to be able to handle it. I mean, he probably will. I'll probably be wrong, but but at this point, I just don't want to take that risk when I could have Mike Evans and still get a receiver with like proven production.
I mean, that's why we're called the Fantasy Football Fools.
Taking risk, baby.
So, teams 2 and 3 agreed with you. Zeke went off the board, Tyreek Hill, and then finally Mark Andrews at pick number 4 of the 3rd round. I got 2 running backs here. This is pretty easy for me. We have A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen on the board, but CD Lamb is still there, so I'm going to take him at pick number 5. After that, we got Leonard Fournette, James Conner, Devontae Adams. Those running backs are still going. And then back to Brandon.
Yeah, just quickly to touch on CD Lamb, definitely getting great value there. You thought about taking him in the 2nd round when he took Kamara instead. So, like you said, very easy selection. Surprised he lasted that long. Definitely a great value pick there. So similar situation for me. I'm coming in with 2 running backs already on the board. As I scroll down, there are a few running backs there, but again, I don't think I need a second one or a third one at this point. Kind of weighing the options: A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen, T. Higgins. There's a couple quarterbacks that pop up in this range. Still not interested in that, especially in a 10-team league. There's plenty of quarterback depth. So now it's kind of a debate between A.J. Brown and Keenan Allen for me. A.J. Brown, he'll probably catch less balls, but for more yardage, kind of more explosive. Keenan Allen's more that possession guy. He certainly catches a lot of balls each week, very consistent. He's an 8 for 85 kind of a guy every week, and you hope he gets in the end zone. But for me, I know I have good pass-catching running backs, so I think I can afford to take a few less catches and play the bigger upside. So I'm going to actually go with A.J. Brown and his new home in Philadelphia.
Oh, Philly. We got Keenan Allen, T. Higgins off the board. Here we go, wide receivers being taken. Back to you, Brendan.
Yeah, and just one interesting note. So the Team 10 on the turn there, they went Kelsey, Chase, Allen, Higgins. So they have both Cincinnati receivers. They have no running backs through 4 rounds. Interesting strategy, PPR. I mean, I like that team, and then you'll see what they come back with at the running back position. But just interesting strategy choice.
A reason why I like that you went with your pick instead of Allen is because you can get a better value pick a little bit further down the line if you wait around for his counterpart. Where is he? Mike Williams is somewhere in here, and he's going to do, I think, just as good. Maybe a little bit less going his way, but just as good, and he can produce just as much. So I like that you skipped over Allen, and you could probably wait around.
I like Mike Williams also. Keenan Allen's going to get more catches, and that's when half PPR comes in. You're talking about 100 plus catches, and Keenan Allen, I think, is 78 is what he's projected to do. So you're looking for more touchdown upside there. But yeah, I do like Mike Williams as well.
Yeah. So next pick here, the second pick of the 4th round. Again, I have Najee Harris, DeAndre Swift, added A.J. Brown. Really only 2 guys I'm kind of looking at here. One is something I don't normally do. Actually, 3 guys. I don't normally take a tight end this early, but I am looking at Kyle Pitts. He had 68 catches last year, 959 yards, 5 touchdowns. And it's early, but there's a few tight ends I like, and then it kind of drops off pretty quickly. So if I do that, obviously I'm a little short at receiver. So then as I scroll down, I see Michael Pittman. He's probably the next best receiver that I like in this tier. I think he's going to catch a ton of balls for Matt Ryan, so I do like him. And then my other option, I'm a sucker for Cam Akers in the 4th round. I think he's a Sean McVay guy. McVay loves having one running back that he can give the bulk of the carries to. Darrell Henderson had a good year last year. Cam Akers came back in the playoffs about 6 months after a torn Achilles, and they gave him 22 carries a game. So he's going to get the work. I kind of like him here. Sets me up really well at running back. So, again, a tough decision here, but I think I'm actually going to go with Cam Akers.
It looks like he's projected 40-some receptions as well, so there you go.
Yeah, I think, if you remember Todd Gurley, I think that's like best case scenario, right? He caught a ton of balls, scored a ton of touchdowns. I think they're on their way to kind of giving him the rock a lot. And, I think he'll certainly catch some passes as well.
Michael Pittman off the board. Pat Mahomes finally goes in the 4th round. And Breece Hall taken right before my pick. And I'm on the clock here. Let me see. So I got 2 running backs. I got 1 wide receiver. Pitts is still here. Herbert is on the board. You got Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore. So this is where it's kind of, all these guys are kind of in the same area for me. I do like Kyle Pitts. This is a tough decision for me. I also like Herbert, so I could take Herbert here in the 4th. But see, we're used to an 8-team league, and this is a 10, so this is where it gets kind of interesting. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for the receptions and the upside of DJ Moore here. And I'm going to pick him as my 2nd wide receiver. You got Travis Etienne. After that, George Kittle went before Pitts. And then Deontay Johnson back to Eliseo.
Yeah, just quickly to touch on your pick, Jesse. I do like DJ Moore there. I saw a stat today, and I can't remember what it was, but over the last 2 years, he has something like 110 uncatchable targets. So he's getting a ton of volume, and they've just been impossible to catch with the poor quarterback play there from Sam Darnold. So again, he's getting the volume. I think he's going to catch more passes this year. Targets are there. They've just been uncatchable, not his fault. So I think he makes a big jump this year.
Breakout possible player.
Well, now back to me with the last pick of the 4th round. And there's actually in this area, there's not a whole lot that I like, to tell you the truth. There's nothing that stands out to me as oh, I need this guy for sure. And everything else is kind of too far to reach for. So I kind of got to just do the best I can where I'm at right now. And like you were talking about tight ends, there's not a whole lot of them. I think there's, for me, I think I have 4 in my top tier. 4. And so if I don't go now, I think it won't make it back around to me, is my thinking, because how many are gone now? 3 of them are gone. So that means that there is only 1 guy left for me. I know a lot of people talk about Kyle Pitts, but he's with the change in quarterback and stuff. I think he's going to be a 2nd tier for me this year.
I think I know where he's going.
Yeah. That's exactly where you think I'm going. Going to
Waller the baller.
Walrus.
Man. I think he had injuries last year, and he was always like the number 1 target basically. And so now with the new receiver there, I think a lot of pressure is going to be off him, and he's going to be left wide open in the end zone for a lot of easy scores. So Waller the baller.
Well, as a Raiders fan, I sure hope so. Also, his jersey's right behind you. So there you go. You got a Waller jersey right there.
And I think one thing to kind of take note here is, you contemplated Andrews in the last round. And so your pick would have been, now you got Evans and Waller as opposed to Andrews and whatever wide receivers left on the board. Yeah. Don't really like a wide receiver. So I think you maximized the value in terms of the guys you liked by waiting on that tight end position.
And so now we're back in the same spot where I'm like, there's not a whole lot that I love here. Justin Herbert's available, but I just don't. It's too early for my quarterback still. I mean, Allen and Mahomes are off the board, and there's still a lot of quarterback value left out there. So I don't feel like I need a quarterback just yet. Then there's David Montgomery, who I don't love. He gets a lot of play, but that team is just so bad.
He's a consistent running back that no one likes to actually have on
I mean,
their team.
he gets goal line carries. Like, he gets like 2 or 3 in a row, and then they kick a field goal. It's just not him. He's it's just a bad spot. I really don't like this area here. And so it's my options are him, Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, Waddle, DK Metcalf, Josh Jacobs, and it goes on and on. So, oh man, I guess I'm gonna
you
have
gonna
to
pick?
go. I need a running back because I have one, and I could be okay with like a number 2. It doesn't have to be obviously like this guy that I'm in love with or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip over David Montgomery, but I will take Antonio Gibson.
Antonio Gibson off the board. And then after that, we have David Montgomery, Terry McLaurin, and there goes Justin Herbert right before my pick. Would I have picked him?
That's what I was going to ask. Is that somebody you were going to take right there?
It was possible. I mean, in our main league, we have 3 wide receivers. This one, we're doing 2 wide receivers. So you're have everyone right now except for your flex and your single positions of tight end and quarterback. So that was a possibility.
One more quick point. Sorry, that team right before you, as I look at their team, no wide receivers. Quarterback, tight end, 3 running backs. Interesting strategy there.
Yeah, they got Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Travis Etienne, and Mark Andrews and Justin Herbert. So they're waiting on the wide receivers, and we'll check in and see.
It's deep, so be curious to see what their team looks like at the end.
All right, so let's see. I can do the next best available player for my flex. I can do a quarterback here, or I could do a tight end, which Kyle Pitts is still on the board. And he's projected to get 78 receptions, which is, about over 10 more than the next tight end right there. But what I think I'm going to do, because I like this guy, I haven't been able to draft him yet this season. I think he has potential to be the number 1 quarterback this year. I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson right here, which maybe he would have got back around to me, but you know what? I'm going to take him right here.
So you would have taken Herbert. Would you have taken Herbert over to Lamar?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what I was going to do until I got there, but he was definitely on the radar for me, yes. Kyle Pitts went right behind me, Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, back to Brandon.
This is interesting, Brandon.
It is. So, again, my team, 3 running backs, 1 wide receiver. So, I'm definitely in the market for a wide receiver.
And guess who's back?
And right at Mike Williams, the guy we kind of talked about earlier. I think I'm going away from that, to be quite honest. And, again, I wish I didn't need a receiver here because, again, the team behind me is probably going running back, I would think. And there's a couple guys there I still like at running back, but I already have 3 good ones. So, receiving choices, Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. Those are kind of the guys I'm deciding between. I think Cortland Sutton is the new DK Metcalf. I think with Russell Wilson there, he's kind of their deep thrower. I think he's been outstanding, just been hurt a little bit. Bad quarterback play, but I really like the upside of Cortland Sutton and the way that Russell Wilson can get him the ball. So I'm going to actually go with Cortland Sutton here.
And we have Elijah Mitchell and Josh Jacobs, 2 running backs. That team
Just
that
like you
had
said,
the
running back.
Yeah, that team that had the tight end and the 3 receivers. Of course, they saved it, and they got 2 starting running backs. So we'll see how that goes. Back to you, Brendan.
Yeah. So again, looking at the board, Mike Williams again still there, which I kind of like. God, I really almost like taking Jerry Jeudy here as like, oh, one of these Denver receivers is going to be really good. And they had Tyler Lockett, had DK Metcalf. Russell Wilson can support 2, high quality receivers. So that's certainly a thought that's in my mind. There's a lot of quarterbacks there
that's
too
a
that are
bold
starting
strategy.
to pop up. It really is, right? Because you're always going to probably start the wrong one. It seems like so. Especially in this league, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 flex. So I'm kind of probably starting my 3rd running back as my flex. Yeah, I'm really looking at Mike Williams. God, I kind of like J.K. Dobbins, too. I know I love running backs, but I think he could be really good. But there's not really anybody that jumps off the page. Chris Godwin, he kind of jumps off the page at me, too. Especially as a 3rd receiver. When he gets healthy, he's going to catch a ton of balls.
He's dropping in draft. I mean, Godwin was...
He's free falling, and there's a chance he plays in week 1. I know he's coming off a torn ACL, but he's been working out at practice, and I think I just talked myself into that. So I think I'm going to go Chris Godwin here. Again, my wide receiver 3. I don't need him the first couple of weeks. By the time he gets healthy, that's a great value there. He's been a top 10 or 15 receiver the last couple of years. I think he's Brady's favorite target. Mike Evans has obviously been there for the touchdowns. Godwin catches more of the passes. So I'm going to go with my 3rd receiver here in the 6th round, Chris Godwin.
And he is off the board. All right, Chris Godwin. Mike Williams went after him. Jerry Jeudy, there you go, right after him. And Jalen Hurts. Back to me here in the middle of the 6th round. Still need a flex. I still need a tight end. And who do we got here? Let's see. We have Dalton Schultz, T.J. Hawkinson, Dallas Goedert. Best available, we have Amari Cooper's there. Allen Robinson's a great pick. I'm really looking at Allen Robinson right here. I think he's going to be great in that. I mean, that offense is just, Cooper Kupp cannot do what he did last year. It was amazing. He can do great, but that was
he's still going to be good. He's still going to be good.
And so Robinson, I think, has a chance to get some of that. Oh, man, this is tough right here. So really it's between Robinson and Dalton Schultz for me. I'm a big fan of Dalton Schultz this year. I think he has potential to, finish top 3 tight end with the volume he's going to get in that offense. So I think I'm going to save my flex pick, and I'm going to go with Dalton Schultz right here and see what happens when it comes back around to me. So after that, Brandon Cooks got taken, J.K. Dobbins, Marquise Brown, and back to Eliseo.
I love the way this worked out for me. I really do, because I have my 2 receivers, I have 2 running backs, I have my tight end, and now I got the next 2 picks. That sets me up perfectly because I'm very excited.
Can I guess real quick? One of these 2 is 100% A.J. Dillon, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going right now. Like the guys right now are 2 quarterbacks, Amari Cooper, Allen Robinson, and A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon is in for a huge year this year, in my opinion, because they don't have receivers. They're going to be using Aaron Jones as a wideout in a lot of sets, I think. So it's going to be like a lot of sets with both of them out there. Now that could go to either one of them, but last year towards the end of the year, Dillon became the goal line back. Even on the when Jones was in there and they got to the goal line, they would take him out. Which normally they would just go one set at every guy, like a goal line to goal line. And last year they changed it and put A.J. Dillon in for the goal line stuff. So,
and I think they're actually using him, and they have 2 running back sets, and it's going to be a different offense now that Devontae's gone. So.
Yeah, it's going to be different. So A.J. Dillon is my next pick, and he goes off the board at the end of the round.
Yeah, and you got another one.
And now I got another one. And now I feel like I'm pretty complete. So now I feel like I could take a quarterback now. And a bunch of the good guys are coming off the board or like have been off the board now. So it's time to pick up one of the elite quarterbacks that comes through every year.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Comes through every year for how many years? A lot of years.
A lot of years. So,
This is his guy.
It is my guy, and I feel comfortable taking him here. He always does really well. I don't see him slowing down. And so I have to take it. Even at this round, he's still a bargain, and I don't want to miss out because my top guys are Mahomes, Josh Allen, Herbert, and Tom Brady, and also
Derek Carr?
No, Matt Stafford. Stafford and Kyler Murray, but I think Kyler Murray's gone. No,
You just rattled off like 12 quarterbacks.
well, that was like 5 or 6.
Kyler Murray's still there.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Tom anyways, just because it's Tom, and he's always like top 5. Even when you think like he's done, he's not done. So I'm going to take Tom Brady.
I mean, yeah, Tom Brady's going to be a great quarterback, I think. I think it's tough, but I think he may have made it back to you. He's dropping, that age. Every year he's just dropping and dropping in the drafts. If he is a great quarterback and he plays next year, he's going to be drafted like, I don't know, round 14.
He might have made it back to me, but look, Kyler Murray just went off, a couple of picks right after me. So it's like, just in case, I didn't want to be down to my last option. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so Amari Cooper went after that, Kyler Murray, and then Allen Robinson, which I was hoping would come back to me, but he did not. So I got to pick who my flex is going to be, and this is getting into some rough areas here, but there are some people that I like. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I don't necessarily like him, but he's on the board there. You got Miles Sanders, but I'm going to go to the wide receivers here. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I do like him this year. Michael Thomas could be great. And Darnell Mooney also. Juju Smith-Schuster, I think, is going to be great for Kansas City. So there's some good guys here that I really like. But I think I'm going to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown. And he's my flex spot there. Michael Thomas went after him, Adam Thielen, and then Miles Sanders, Brandon on the clock.
Yeah, so what I'm looking at here, and we've talked a lot about quarterbacks, I'm kind of surveying the situation. There's 7 teams with a quarterback, the first 7, ironically. So I'm sitting here at pick 9. So the team before me and after me both don't have quarterbacks.
Team 2 doesn't have a quarterback yet either.
They have Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah,
they took him so early. Yeah, we probably forgot about that one. So I'm kind of surveying, saying, gosh, there is other quarterbacks I like. You know, and I'm at a position where, again, both ends of me don't have a quarterback. So when one takes one, I can certainly follow up whichever way that goes to make sure that I get someone I like. Joe Burrow's sitting here kind of staring at me in the face. I do like him a lot. I think he could have a monster season this year with the weapons that he has. I like my team elsewhere, running backs, receivers. There's no real tight ends on the board that I'm, in love with at this point in the draft. And T.J. Hawkinson's popping up, but that seems too early for me on him. So I think I just kind of go with the guy that pops out the most. I'm going to definitely go with Joe Burrow here just to kind of solidify that position.
Yeah, I mean, with that offense and that passing. Oh, and after him went unlimited. That's right. Russell Wilson. Then Darnell Mooney. And, of course, back to you.
Yeah, so back to me. Quarterback, 3 running backs, 3 receivers on my roster here. So I really like where I'm sitting with the guys I have. I'm kind of picking best value available. Again, the tight ends, the elite tier has gone off the board, so I think it's a little bit too early for me to take one because I'm not in love with any of the guys that are there. I think I can wait and kind of get a lot of similar players in the next couple of rounds. So now I'm just looking for best value, best player available at this point. And it's actually a guy I kind of really like, so I'm going to take a shot on a guy who has the potential to break out and be an absolute monster at the receiver spot. He is on arguably the best offense in football as the wide receiver 2. So I'm going to go ahead and take Gabe Davis.
A lot of buzz around him this year.
A lot of buzz, and I'm taking him as my wide receiver 4, and it's kind of, I don't need him to be great, but there's definitely the chance. I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking guys on good offenses with good quarterbacks. They lost a couple, Cole Beasley, they lost Manuel Sanders. There's 100 and something targets there, and I think what we all remember of him and why he's getting so much buzz is that last game against Kansas City, right? 200 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, he has the potential to do that. Obviously, he's not going to do that every game, but the potential is good enough to kind of take him here. And again, it's a wide receiver 4 with big upside.
Yeah, a second wide receiver on any offense like that, can't hurt. T.J. Hawkinson went after that. Damian Harris, Rashad Bateman, back to me. All right. Well, I still only have 2 running backs. I got 3 wide receivers now. But
and Clyde is still staring you in the face.
He is. Clyde is there. I just don't know about Mr. Clyde Edwards-Helaire this year, but he might be an okay value right there. Kenneth Walker could be a possibility, but I really like this guy. He's a wide receiver, so I'm gonna take my 4th wide receiver with only 2 running backs on my team, which could get dicey. You know how running backs get hurt, but I really like this guy. I think he can be great in this offense. He could also not, so you're taking a risk, but at wide receiver number 4, I'm going to take Drake London, rookie from the Atlanta Falcons. After that, we have Juju, who I also like, who went off the board. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's gone now, and Kareem Hunt.
I was hoping that Juju made it back around to me. Just barely missed it by a couple. I think he's going to have a great year, but alas, he is gone. And then also Kareem Hunt went just before my pick, and I'm a big fan of his too. So that's unfortunate. So let's see. I'm pretty balanced out right now. I have 3 running backs, 2 receivers, my tight end, my quarterback. So same as Brandon, I think I'm going to go for value since most of my spots are pretty much locked in. And let's see what I have here. Kenneth Walker, Seattle. That's such a tough that's such a tough place to be. Then Hopkins, who I feel like I would take him, but not this early on. He's suspended for 6 games, so I was like, I don't want to I don't want to jump at that immediately. And I know he probably won't make it back around to me, but it's kind of a long shot this early. I would, another round or two, I probably will take him, but not quite yet. So I'm scrolling down and I see a Cordero Patterson, I see a Tony Pollard, and Devin Singletary. So, man, this is a tough one.
They're all there. You got 2 picks, too.
And I got 2 picks, so I think I have to go with running backs because, like you said, it's like the ones that get hurt. So I think I'm going to go with Patterson here.
Cordero Patterson.
I don't know what that offense is going to look like, really, anymore with Mariota and stuff. There's a lot of changes, and we'll see how they use him. But, I just feel like he's also one of those guys who could be running back but catches a lot of balls, too. So it's like that could work out really well, or it could be a crash and burn situation. But
this is half PPR, so that's
yeah. So that's all right. And looking at the, Tony Pollard, Devin Singletary, I don't love those guys. Chase Edmonds. But best value here, I guess I would have to say, oh, man. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm gonna beat everybody else to it and take DeAndre Hopkins because it's like my roster's full. I could, if it works out, I could wait 6 weeks for this guy to come back and then just be even more elite.
Yeah, I think that could be a great pick. You got Dallas Goddard, Kenneth Walker, Elijah Moore off the board. Back over to me. All right, I was hoping that this guy would get back to me, and he did. I only have 2 running backs. I got 4 wide receivers, so I'm going to take another running back here from Buffalo. I think they're going to utilize him more. Not the guy that I know both of you are big on. I think Singletary is going to be great, so I'm taking Devin Singletary right there. Hunter Renfrow went off the board. Tony Pollard, Dak Prescott, and back to Brandon.
Yeah, Tony Pollard was definitely a guy I was interested here. It was kind of unfortunate to see him go 2 picks ahead of me. Let's look at the board here. Again, pretty good value on, or pretty good, building of a team here. And still need a tight end to kind of fill out the roster. But then again, just looking for some value play. Let's see here. As I scroll through, yeah, you're kind of going a little bit deeper than you have in the past now, trying to just find the guys you like, find some value. I'm going to go with, there's a couple guys that kind of intrigue me. A couple guys I'm going to talk through real quick. I kind of like Chase Edmonds. He's going to catch a lot of balls. I don't know what they're doing in Miami. They signed him to a big deal in the offseason. I think he could certainly have some value. The guy I kind of like is Melvin Gordon. We saw last year he got the even split with Javonte Williams. He's still really talented. They re-signed him again in the offseason. I think he's a good kind of bye-week fill-in. If Javonte Williams goes down, he's certainly could have a huge workload and a really good offense. I think I'm going to take Melvin Gordon here.
Melvin Gordon, I like it. I had him on my team. I think we talked about this before on last year, and I traded him away, and that did not work out too well for me. As the guy who I traded him to won the league. Treylon Burks went after him, Rashad Penny, and back to you.
Yeah, so I think, again, as I keep scrolling here, a couple guys I like. I'm going to go with another kind of running back in a timeshare that I think could potentially take over the lead back duties in New England. I'm going to go with Ramondre Stevenson.
Somebody had him on the radar.
Well, that was still so far away, it doesn't matter.
Garrett Wilson, Devontae Smith, Chase Edmonds. All right, so here we are. Back to me, and we're gonna do best available. We're building the bench at this point. This is what we're doing. We're building the bench, trying to make it great in case somebody goes down. And it's funny that James Cook is back to me, Buffalo running back who I was talking about before. But you know what? I got Singletary. I could get Cook also, but I'm not a big proponent of doing backups. I think if you want to get a backup, get somebody else's backup. Because it's more value to you if if they go down, you can trade them, you can use them. So this guy, he has been having a good preseason so far. We're actually doing this podcast early, so maybe he's not having a good preseason, but so far he's looked good. From Houston, Dameon Pierce. He'll be my 4th running back. Chris Olave, James Cook, Brandon Ayuk, and back to Eliseo.
And the guy that I was really looking forward to is also gone again. Went off the board.
James Cook,
yeah,
right?
James Cook.
Yeah.
Well, like 2 spots right before me. I think he's gonna have a good year. He is gonna work himself into a lot of stuff. So he's gonna. I think he's looking real good for this year, and I think we're gonna hear a lot about him throughout the season. So I'm bummed that I missed that chance. And now we're back to, again, like Brandon said, just kind of starting to look for some home runs here. Nothing too exciting. There's a couple quarterbacks: Tyler Lockett, Alan Lazard, Robert Woods, Chase Claypool. And you know what? I think I would look at Alan Lazard and Chase Claypool are the ones that are kind of sticking out to me right now. I don't love Lazard. He's got brick hands. I don't think he's a very good player. But if he is the number one now, even if he catches 50% of anything that goes his way, he's going to be doing pretty well. So that's the argument for him. Claypool, I mean, we don't even know the quarterback situation over there yet, you know? So
It's interesting because Lazard's only projected for 62 receptions, which doesn't seem like...
yeah, I think like
Lot.
Tunyon is going to have a better year than Lazard, you know? So yeah, you just made me convince myself that I don't want him. I don't love Chase Claypool either, but of those two in this area, I think that's where I'm going to go. So I'll go with Claypool.
Chase Claypool, and you get another pick.
And then I get another pick. Super exciting time. Well,
Are you in your head? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
no,
Are
no,
you
I'm,
tilted
gonna-
now?
I'm scrolling down a little ways, and I'm gonna steal somebody's handcuff.
Oh, here
if
we
you
go.
scroll down a little bit, you see someone by the name of Alexander Madison.
Alexander Madison.
And at this point, like we said, we're just looking for, stuff that could happen.
You know,
like,
and I like that because, like I said, if you take someone else's backup and, their starter gets hurt, then that's a lot of value for you. If you take your own backup and they get hurt, you have the backup.
well, I mean,
you're in
you
the same position.
still should.
You're in
Yeah,
the
I
same
mean,
position.
if it's a good, like, if you're backing up, see, like this, like Madison, if I had,
Dalvin Cook.
yes,
Here's
if
the
I had
thing,
Dalvin Cook, I'm gonna want to draft Madison because I know that one of them is gonna be good no matter what. So of course, it's
Yeah.
like it doesn't mean go steal somebody else's backup and don't take your own.
Well, I mean, he's the best backup in the NFL.
well, then there's
probably, so-
Pollard.
He's a literal like-for-like replacement. Cook goes out, you plug in Madison, he's
Yeah.
still a top 5 guy. Like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
I like that pick.
No,
there.
I'm just saying if you take your own backup, you have to have him on your bench for the entire year, and it's harder to get rid of him. But yeah, I don't. Maybe don't take any backups until the middle of the season. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't understand what you're saying.
I like the idea, yeah, and I think Jesse, you took Cook earlier, right? So I think I like the idea, him specifically, because what you're getting is almost an exact replacement if something were to happen to a guy like Cook. And Cook has never played a full season. He misses 2 games every year, and those 2 games, Madison produces like a top 10 running back.
Yeah.
yeah.
So Alexander Madison, we have Dawson Knox, Aaron Rodgers, and Zach Ertz off the board, and back over to me.
I'm going to quickly fill some time here.
Yeah.
This is something I don't like to see, as I'm sitting without a tight end, and I see 2 teams start to take their second tight end. So I'm just going deeper and deeper in the board. So maybe I waited 1 round too long to get a tight end, or maybe these guys are picking a backup tight end too early. I don't know.
And that's the thing. I mean, this is the computer, but you know what? You know your league, unless it's your first time in the league. But, we know our league. Everybody should know their league and how, your other players are going to draft, managers are going to draft, and take that into account because people may take second tight ends or second quarterbacks way too soon, and you know that, so you're going to have to kind of adjust for that. You were talking about Alan Lazard. I like Alan Lazard this year. I know he's no Devontae Adams, but, I'll take him as my 5th wide receiver right here, and that's what I'm going to do. And then we got Trey Lance, Matthew Stafford, second quarterbacks off the board, and then Tyler Lockett right before you.
Yeah, I actually looked at second quarterback in this range, and someone like Trey Lance is someone I actually kind of like. It's funny, the guy that took Trey Lance also has Jalen Hurts, kind of similar style quarterback. I kind of liked having Joe Burrow and Trey Lance completely different quarterbacks. just, the potential upside. You don't need him, but if he goes off, you love having him.
And look at that next guy. He landed Mahomes and Matt Stafford.
Right.
That's pretty good, too.
2 elite quarterbacks there, certainly. And as I look at, let's see, the team behind me, again, that's kind of a strategy for me as I'm picking just before the turn, kind of seeing what he needs. He has everything. He has Kelsey, so what are the chances of him taking a second tight end, right? I'm going to say that now. We'll see if I learn to regret it. But I'm going to take a tight end here just to get one, but I'm going to wait until the way back in the 12th round. So my next pick, I'll take one, assuming he's not taking a second. So we'll see if that gamble pays off or not. Well, let's see. As far as I go here, as I look through the board, I'm going to take another guy that I really like. Again, this is all about upside. And when this guy, he played very few games last year, but when he did, he was a target monster, just elite athleticism, unbelievable talent, just can't stay on the field. He's already kind of hurt this preseason too, but I just love the idea of what he could be. So again, big upside pick here. I'm going to go with Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, great pick. He had a great season when he was on the field last year. Derek Carr went right after that, and then Russell Gage. So it looks like you're safe with your tight end.
Yeah. So again, I tried to read the room and kind of see what's going to go after me, and now I can definitely go to the tight end here. So as I look at tight ends, again, we're very deep. I don't know how many have been drafted, probably 14 at this point. Freiermuth, Gesicki, Kmet, Hunter Henry, Alberto. Again, nobody that really jumps off the board at me. But one guy I do like, and I think
this is the 11th tight end off the board.
11th tight end here. So, as I look, I see a guy last season who had 93 targets, which was 6th in the league last year. Only caught 60 balls, didn't score a touchdown. So I think we're going to see some positive touchdown regression there. So I'm going with a team or tight end on a team that's not very good. Their receiving core is awful. So I think he has definitely some big upside. So I'm going to go with Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet off the board right after that. Look at that. Pat Freiermuth, Mike Gesicki. There goes the tight ends. And then Christian Kirk back over to me. I was also looking at a second tight end. And, a guy that I like is still on the board, which I do love. New England, Hunter Henry. I'm going to, just I love Schultz, but just in case you want to get a backup tight end, Hunter Henry right there. Robert Woods went after that. Tyler Boyd, Sky Moore, and to Eliseo.
All right. Well, the only other guy right now that is kind of catching my attention here is somebody we talked about a little bit earlier, and also a backup, but he get some stuff. He could get some stuff going. Where is he? I've lost him. I don't know.
You lost him.
No, hang on.
All right, so we're going deep here. It looks like deep in the rankings.
I hope he was already drafted and he just didn't even realize it.
I just saw. No, here he is. Here he is. Lost him for a second. Powerful offense, and they already have their starter. But like you said, last year he did pretty well. And if there's any time for him, if they decide to give him some run, or if there's an injury, Darrell Henderson will again be a very good option down the road.
I like that. I was actually looking at him with my next pick. I have Cam Akers, so that would have been nice to just kind of solidify that backfield.
Yeah, I'm
so
just going
there you go again.
Stealing
just,
everybody.
Taking the backups from all of our starting running backs.
Yeah. So, all right. So that was that. And now we're down to our last 3 picks. I'm going to go ahead and get ahead of some people here. I know a lot of people, you don't have to do this, and but it's just where I am in the draft. I'm going to go ahead and jump to defense. Usually people wait till the last round or the second to the last round, but because I would be the last pick of the next round, so I'm sure a bunch of defenses will be gone by then. So I have to kind of jump ahead of that. And so I have my option of anything I want. And so right away, I think I will go with Buffalo.
Yeah, and, that happened in your league. We've had people that have drafted defenses super early in the draft, so just be ready for that. Buffalo, Michael Carter, Christian Watson, Ronald Jones, all off the board. So I need one more backup. I need a backup to my quarterback, and a bunch of quarterbacks have been taken here. So what I like to do is I look and see who I have on my team. So I got CeeDee Lamb, I got DJ Moore. But do I want those? Do I want those quarterbacks? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Drake London,
So what I'm hearing is Jared Goff, Marcus Mariota, or Baker Mayfield.
No, so
take your pick. They'll be available on the free agent wire.
If Dak was there, I would do that. But you know what? Yeah, all these quarterbacks that are left, I'm not really, I don't love, and so I'm not going to go with a quarterback here. I'm just going to wait because there will be someone available after this. So I'm going to see who is next best available, and I'm just going to pick a name out here because this person, is the last person who could be dropped at some point. But I'm going to go with Michael Gallup from Dallas here. Amari Cooper's gone. He may get some more work. Rashad White went after that. James Robinson, Isaiah Spiller.
Yeah, you've seen the backup running back start to go. I kind of like where your head's at. I'm going to actually take a quarterback as well. A guy who's actually finished in the top 10, I think, the last 4 years. Very underrated, underappreciated. Big offense, big playmakers. I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep, he could be good. Tyler Algier? Is that how you say that?
Yeah, he's a rookie out of BYU in Atlanta. Again, kind of a interesting backfield with him and Patterson. And, yeah, he could definitely get some run. Kind of a good late round pick there.
And then Justin Tucker, first kicker off the board.
And then, so last two picks, I'm going to definitely go kicker and defense here. Don't really have a preference on either. So I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Bucks.
And you got Evan McPherson, the Rams, the Cowboys off the board. You can take a kicker first. You can take a defense first. It doesn't really matter. I think that these things kind of shake out during the season, and you can always play the matchups. I'm going to go ahead and take the Ravens defense. Sounds good to me. You could also not take it here, depending on when you're drafting, and just wait to right before the season starts.
So that's what I was going to say too. If you're drafting early, that's always been my strategy. Wait, if you're drafting in the early part of August, just let it play out. You can get one off the waiver wire. There's plenty of production. A lot of them are very, very similar. Plus the defenses too. Somebody like Buffalo that Eliseo took, they're playing the Rams in week 1, so not a great match. You're going to play them anyways, but you can always find a team that's going to have a really good matchup that first week.
We got Harrison Butker, Matt Prater, the Niners, and back to Eliseo.
All right, so now there's not too many guys that I'm still really hungry for. There's a couple names out there that I'm still going to take my shot on, but they will be there, obviously, because I have the next two picks. So it doesn't matter what I do right now. I'm going to just take my picker because that's what I was ready to do, and I'm going to go with Daniel Carlson because he is really good.
And, as a Raiders fan, hey, if you have a good kicker and you're the fan of the team, why not take him?
Yeah. And then so now I'm going to back up my own running back. At the very beginning of the draft, I took Jonathan Taylor, and in case he gets hurt, I need my own, the discussion we were having earlier. So it was kind of between him, and I also like Devontae Parker a lot this year. I think he's kind of like a sleeper this year. I think Mac Jones is doing a little bit better, and he's got some experience. So I think Devontae Parker is going to be a pretty good target in New England. But I got to back up my own guy, so I'm going to go with Nyheim Hines here with my last pick.
Nyheim Hines, you got Matt Gay, the Chargers, the Patriots, and back to me. I need a kicker. I don't have to take kicker. I'll take a kicker. I'm just going to kind of, I like this guy's name, Young Ho Koo. So I'm going to take him. He'll be decent. Tyler, and, when you're looking at it, you should probably see who has matchups that are good the first week if you're going to play the matchups. Tyler Bass, Rodrigo Blankenship, the Colts, McManus, and the Brandon McManus and the Saints all went. So looking at the teams here, let's kind of get back to that team who didn't take where is that team? So, Team 4, right?
Team 4 took no wide receivers till the 6th round.
Yeah.
Ended up with Brandon Cooks, Allen Robinson, Juju Smith, Elijah Moore, Chris Olave.
It's not bad.
Not terrible to get those three receivers. Cooks, Robinson, and Smith all seem like...
and then Team 10 took, no running backs until the 5th round. And they got Elijah Mitchell, Josh Jacobs, and Rashad Penny later on. That one's a little bit...
that I absolutely hate.
Yeah, that's not...
I couldn't imagine getting...
Well, Mitchell and Penny are going to get hurt week 1. So there
Yeah,
goes
Mitchell's
that.
already hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacobs, again, we talked about this in a previous podcast, was playing in the Hall of Fame game. So who knows what they're going to do with him. That's a team that I'm like, all right, who can I trade Cam Akers? I go trade Cam Akers for Jamar Chase a couple weeks in when he realizes he has no running backs. That's exactly what I'm looking to do.
All right, so let's look at these teams here. Eliseo, you got Jonathan Taylor, Antonia Gibson, A.J. Dillon, Cordero Patterson, Alexander Maddison, Dale Henderson, and Naeem Hines as your running backs. You have Debo Samuel, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, Chase Claypool as your wide receivers, Darren Waller as your tight end, one tight end, and then Tom Brady as your quarterback. What do you say? How do you like it?
I definitely could have used another receiver, and like I said, nobody drafted Parker, so I can still go back and pick him up if I need to. And, along the way, I'm sure I'll lose somebody from here, or just trade out, Henderson or Hines or Madison or one of those guys. I can always trade them out and pick up a spot receiver just for a week if I need it. So, but I think I'm pretty well balanced actually. So I think I did all right.
I got Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Devin Singletary, Damian Pierce as my running backs. CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Drake London, Alton Lazard, Michael Gallup as my wide receivers, Lamar Jackson as my quarterback, and Dalton Schultz and Hunter Henry as my tight ends. I like it. I mean, I could have maybe grabbed one more running back. I like my receivers okay, but, I maybe not great. But it's kind of that thing that'll, if you like them enough, see what happens in the season, and it's a decent starting team. Brandon, you got Najee Harris, DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers, Melvin Gordon, Ramondre Stevenson as your running backs, A.J. Brown, Cortland Sutton, Chris Godwin, Gabe Davis, Kadarius Toney as your wide receivers, Joe Burrow and Kirk Cousins as your quarterbacks, and Cole Kmet as your tight end. What do you think?
Yeah, I love my running backs and wide receivers. Obviously, spent the first 6 picks in the draft on those guys. Need a big year from Burrow, which I think certainly can happen with his weapons, the improved offensive line play. Obviously, I'm weak at tight end. I'm taking a chance on Cole Kmet, but again, I think you can kind of stream some tight ends and find some guys that might be on the waiver wire that produce. So, again, I think my only real weakness is that tight end spot, and you can always look to upgrade later. But I do love my running backs and wide receivers.
That's it. That's our 10-team half PPR mock draft. Remember, know your league. Don't tilt. Just look for those players that can give you the upside, or that can give you the value, or that, are consistent, whatever you're looking for there. I prefer someone who can give me a 40-point week, even if it's not every week. But you got to watch out, because then they can give you a 2-point week. So draft accordingly. Like your guys, and later in the rounds, I think you can take guys that you like. If there's a couple different ones there. All right, that's it for us, the Fantasy Football Fools. We will see you next time.
Don't be a fool. Stay in school.
Stay in school. Football school? Yeah, sounds good.
You need to. Did you see your team? That was not good, man. What are you talking about? You're giving advice? Oh, jeez. All right.